Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. How's everybody doing? Hope you all are doing well. It's hot out there today. Guys, I actually had to go to hairdresser to try to keep some curls in, but I know if this heat continues, it's not going to stay in. But anyway, I'm trying. So, thank goodness it's Thursday. Guys, it's been a long week and it's been a just bouncing around a lot, and I'm looking forward to the weekend to rest. Make sure, guys, you're drinking plenty of water. I'm drinking ice water right now, so I don't get dehydrated. Have the AC on. Make sure you're staying cool and you're drinking water or liquids, to keep yourself good, because this weather dry you out. And just take care of yourself. Make sure you're okay. And then you can take care of everything else around you. Guys, thank you for showing up here today. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your likes, your comments, and subscribing to the channel. And let's keep this going, as I said. This channel is to help, to uplift, and to build everyone up. Yesterday, I decided to do a different video, something a little more uplifting to show that this is what happens as you start to take care of yourself. You start to become unbothered by the noise. You tune it out. You unbother what people have to say, whether it's negative, toxic, or whether it's good. It's always good to hear the good stuff, but you're unbothered by all the nonsense and the, drama, because all of that is part of toxicity that you don't want in your life when you start to heal. You don't want to hear the bad stuff. If you want that, you can watch the news 24/7. I guarantee you're going to hear all the bad stuff, you know. Um, and I'm into the healing. I know that, everything is not always going to be like, you know, like roses, but, you work towards having inner peace because as you go through the pain, you recognize it, you deal with it, you heal your inner child, and you cry, you do everything as an outlet to release that pain so it doesn't stay stuck and stagnated within you. As you do all of this, you start to heal. And as you heal, you start to have the inner peace. And as you understand why you had to go through these things, because people, life is a few things. Any difficulties, trials, and tribulations that scar us is these situations come into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And many of these things are lessons that are unlearned lessons that we had to repeat so that we can learn it. And when we repeat them, sometimes they are more painful, worse than ever, until we learn the lesson. And as we learn the lesson and heal from it, we can remove the toxicity from our life. And we don't have to repeat the toxicity. Because when it comes back, it's always in a different shape or form, never the same person or situation, but it's the same toxicity, spinning and riding like a wheel that's going around to nowhere. And as you understand why these things are happening, then you can understand how to heal them. And I talk about it through my own personal experiences to help other people so that they can understand, I had to go through all these things and how I got through them. And if you understand why they're happening, then you have a better chance of how to heal these things little by little. So the topic of conversation today is a little different. It's called But God. And when I talk here, I'm not talking like I'm a therapist because I'm not. I have no degree in therapy. I'm not a social worker. I'm someone who's gone through hell in a handbasket. And I talk about how I got through these lessons and how my life went from down the toilet up to where it is now and still growing. And I'm going to share with you because what I'm sharing may help you with your own trials and tribulations and whatever you may be currently going through. So let's get into this topic of discussion, everyone. Um, when you put God back into the equation in your life, I promise you, things in your life will change for the better. I didn't understand that. And what I didn't understand is that I didn't have to sit in a church. I didn't have to sit in a Kingdom Hall of Jehovah Witness or any other organized religion to have a relationship with God. And I always thought that because from the time I was 6 or 7, my mom went into the Jehovah Witness religion, and everything changed in my life forever. Not forever, but for a while until I was excommunicated. I think at the age of 23. And what they teach is that when anyone gets shunned from their organization, your life become hell. And believe me, my life was hell for a long time until I understood that I had given my power away and had other people playing God in my life, telling me what I can do, what I can't do. When you relinquish your power and give it to somebody else, then you have no more control or power over your life or circumstances. Once you learn to understand that, then you learn how to take back that power and change your life for the better forever. And that's what I learned to do. And I'm sharing some of these things with you because some of you who are watching this need to know and understand how to take back your power and not relinquish it to other people, how to take it back and, control your life for the better instead of allowing others to do so. When I decided, I have some notes here. When I decided to heal after experiencing so much loss and grief, death after death after death, pain after pain and grief and sorrow and all of the stuff that goes along with it. As I started to heal and learn and research, especially about grief triggers and having those, which I never had before in my life until I lost my mother, my dog, my best friend. Um, and then I learned about that and why it was happening. So I had the power to know what to do under those circumstances instead of just saying, oh, well, this is how it is. When you don't understand something, research. That's what I love people about the internet. You can go to Google, you can go to Bing. I usually use bing.com, Bing.com, and just Google anything and you can learn so much. And then with that knowledge, you go into action, you know? As I was saying, after these losses and grief, and I was down to the ground, feeling weighed down, a few others were not happy about the fact that I decided to change my life for the better, to heal. This was something that I did not understand why they felt this kind of way until recently, because it wasn't easy for me. It was me either, as I hit rock bottom before, it's either swim or drown. And that's when I reached out and asked God for help because I couldn't do this alone by myself. And a few others, as they see me rising and getting better, were not happy about it. And I didn't understand this, folks, because you should be happy when people are doing better and thriving. Because when you know better, you do better, and you can help others as well. So I didn't understand. These folks did not like the transformation within me because the old version of myself was letting people take advantage of me, do anything, knowing that people were cheating and doing the most and the worst and still trying to go to couples therapy to try to work out something that was never going to work because they had no intentions for that. My self-worth was in the toilet, didn't understanding how to love myself, that I didn't deserve to stay in toxic relationships and with narcissistic individuals, letting people drain my energy to the bottom of the pit, to there was no energy left. and just, being subservient to people. That was no way to live. But that was all I knew at the time. Because you see, I've been doing that all my life, first half of my life. And I figured, try to keep the peace, try to do A, B, C, and D, and things will be smoothly. But what I did is I took me out of the equation. I forgot all about me as I gave to everybody else. Everything that I had within me, I gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left people to give. Whether it was a relationship, family, whatever it was, a business matter, a job, whatever. And I gave and gave and gave. And, there's a song, um, Kenny Rogers, what's Kim Carnes, and what's this guy name? It's a song where three of them sing. Um, it'll come to me, the other guy. What about me? Go listen to that song if you don't know. It's an old song from the 80s. What about me? And I forgot about me, and I was giving and giving. People were taking and taking, and they wasn't giving anything to the connection, and um I had to learn, and through therapy, through prayer and asking God to help me is when I started to learn. um so what I was saying, because I have some notes here, that these people did not like the transformation within me, and that I had healed old wounds, grief, and pain. Because as I started to realize what I was doing through therapy, and that I was neglecting my own self care, health, etc., just to have these people in my life, and it wasn't worth it. Whether it was family members, relationships or whatever, friendship. Everybody was there to take and not to give. When someone is in your life, and it's supposed to enhance it, an equal give and take, and not bring toxicity and hell into it. So when these folks saw that I was getting healed and doing therapy and going to the gym, taking care of myself, it took everything within me to do that. And I couldn't do it alone because I had no support system. So I begged God to help me. And I made a vow to him that he helped me, that each vow I made, that I would carry it out. And you know what? God started to help me, because I made a few vows. Like I said, it'll be some I talk about, others I won't. But I keep every vow that I made to God, because I don't play with God. And people don't understand, when you make vows to God and you carry those vows out and you continuously do it faithfully, and you take, because you're taking an initiative, a step to do something, and God will come through. It doesn't matter what people think they're going to do, what they're not going to do, how sneaky they are, premeditation of negativity that they got going on, trying to do stuff behind the scene. Remember, God sees everything. That's why this title is called But God. You can do this and ride the wheel of toxicity and think you're going to hurt other people, use them, take from them. They won't know what's going on. Make fake accounts to try to see what they got going on, and do other stuff, gang stalk, and do all this other stuff, and try to, instill fear in them. But God, I'm going to say it once again, but God. God will come through with divine intervention, and things will happen that these people won't see coming out of left field because of God. Because when you make vows to God and you transform your life, and it doesn't mean you have to be religious and you have to be studious and you have to be this and that and A, B, C, and D. It's not the case. All I have to do is look to God and trust him, and know that as I move forward and take a step, he's going to be right there taking 2, 3, and 4 steps behind the background. And I'm not talking on here just to talk. I have seen miracles that he's created, that no man or woman can open doors, that God has opened doors for me. And when God does it, and he see that you coming for somebody who have made vows to him and who have transformed their life for the better, and they made a vow to also pay it forward to help others as they grow and evolve. What you think he's going to do? Sit back and let you tear that person down in their life? No, he's going to come through And he's going to hit you out of left field with all types of stuff until you get the message that this person, is not to be on your list to play with. And that's what people were doing because they felt entitled to me, and they felt that they was entitled for me to help them and take care of them for whatever reason. And that is not the case. Every adult is responsible for themselves. I'm not responsible for what they have going on or what they don't have going on. They're responsible for themselves. I have nothing to do with it. I am generous. I will help people. I will motivate you, lift you up. But when somebody want a meal ticket and they want you to ride, the train and want you to take care of them, I'm not in that business. You got the wrong person. And I was so subservient just to keep these folks in my life. And when I really looked at it, when my therapist and I talked and I started to really talk about what was hurting me and what was going on, and he asked me, what were these people giving to my life? I had to make a list of the pros and the cons. And believe me, people, the cons outweighed the pros because they were just feeling entitlement. Nobody is entitled to anything that I have going on, because if they were not here to help me build it and build me up, and they wasn't sitting with me and riding with me, then I entitled to anything. You know who was here to help me? God. That's why this title is called But God, because I didn't have the support system that some people have, you know? And the support system that I did have of individuals, they were no longer here. They died, passed away, you know? And it took everything within me, every strength, everything to rise up again, because I felt like I was down in the dirt and the ashes for a long time. You know, one of the things that was taught when I was part of, the Jehovah Witness organization is that people who leave them or get shunned or whatever, their life is hell. Well, it was for a while, but God, once again, but God. And as I asked God for help and I start making these vows and moving forward in my life, the transformation happened. It didn't happen overnight. It took a long time, but I kept making steps. Even people, when you don't feel like and you make a half step, I promise you, and you make a vow to God, you keep carrying that out. God's going to help you. He's going to ride with you and help you. It doesn't matter who says what, when, why, or how. I'm unbothered by that stuff because there's no truth to it. And these people feel some kind of way because let me tell you something. One of the vows I made is that I was in so much pain from the hurt and the premeditation of negativity and toxicity that these folks was bringing to my life. I was on my knees with the pain. And I told God, if you help me, I vow to you to leave it all behind. And that's what I did, left those people and left those things and toxicity behind. Because why would I need that in my life as I'm trying to heal? And I healed those pains and wounds and hurt. Why would I reconcile with that? Because they show me who they are. When people show you who they are, what's behind that mask, and they show you the toxicity and they show it again and again, believe them because that's who they are. So why would I ride with toxicity over and over again as I heal those pains and hurts? And I'm unbothered what they have going on, what they're doing, what they're not doing, how they doing it. I don't care. I'm unbothered by it as I heal those wounds. I am at peace, inner peace, and it doesn't matter to me. It did hurt at first, a whole lot. And it took a lot for me to get from A to B to C. I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. But I rode with God. This is why I named this But God, because people don't see that. You know the movie The Blind Side, and how this guy who was the quarterback thought he was ready to make that touchdown. I got this. And then a guy came out of left field, tore that apart. That's how God works. He'll come out of left field. You don't even see it coming. When you keep bothering somebody who don't want to be bothered, if they are healing and they are growing and you're not happy for them, that's fine. You don't have to be, but you don't get the right to come in their life and start trouble, make up lies, do premeditation of some negativity, because I promise you it will backfire always, especially if that person is not doing anything to you. That person is not toxic. They healed their life. They healed all those hurts and things that was done to them. They forgave you for it as well, and anybody out there who's cut off, block, and delete, I pray for you. I pray that you heal your own life so that you can grow, evolve, and one day you can be, you know a testimony to somebody to help them to pay it forward, because that's how we do this. Not live our life full of toxicity and hurting people and doing that. Means you're unhealed, and healing takes time. It's not an overnight thing. And this is, so being on a hate train and trying to tear somebody down and destroy their life, that means your life is unhealed. And one of the places I always encourage people to start is therapy, because therapy is like a mirror. It's going to make you sit down and look at yourself in your life. And we all have something. None of us are perfect, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. We just have to rearrange things in our life and make it better, enhance it, do better. Because when you know better and you do better, you feel better, you're uplifted, and you can go help somebody else heal. That's what we should be doing, and not tearing people down, not saying this one thinks she that or he or whatever, because nothing good comes from toxicity. All that is going to bring hell and more heat and smoke to your life. But you can change that, by doing the therapy, doing the work. The work is not easy, but you can find creative ways to take a step forward. Like music helps me a lot, and I sit with music, I sit in meditation, I go out, do things that uplift you. If you guys go back to the video yesterday, I talk about things that pamper yourself, that, love on yourself. You're supposed to love you, because when you love you, you're not going to engage in all this other drama and craziness out here. You're going to be so busy taking care of you, uplifting your life. You don't have time for it. And it no longer concerns me, what somebody is trying to do or not do. I don't care about it. I'm unbothered, because I'm in a different place as I healed those things. I was for a long time, people, don't get me wrong. I was real bothered and hurt by it. But I forgave those people who came against me with all this hell, And then after I forgave, I gave it to God and prayed that for their healing, for them to get on the bandwagon to heal. And I left them where they are, because I don't want to be in a place of toxicity. And then I started to focus on me, to build me up, because one of the purposes, or one of the vows I made, is to help other people, because I know what it is to be in a space where you're in so much pain. And sometimes people don't openly communicate about what they're going through. Maybe they don't have a support system like I didn't. God was the support system, but sometimes you need people in a natural to talk to, who may understand what you're going through. And I didn't have that. So I stayed in prayer, meditation, and did things to build me up. And that's what you have to do, people. You have to find creative ways to build yourself up, so you don't stay stuck and stagnated in the pain caused by others. And never allow yourself to get to a place of bitterness, because bitterness means that you're stuck and stagnated. You don't ever want that, And so I release these folks, let them go, because they are not healing. And a healed person can't continuously allow themselves to be around toxicity and drama and all of that, because then you're not staying on the bandwagon to heal. It no longer matters to me, and I'm unbothered as I move forward. What it is for me is to help other people, because I've been someplace, how do I say this, where somebody was talking badly. I mean, it was just horrific about a few other people in a negative way. And I'm like, this is not loving. This is not uplifting. When I reached out to that person to talk to him about his message of what he was doing, because it was really a message of hate. And I'm going to say it like that. And I'm not going to get into details. And he just deleted my email, this and that, whatever. And I said, a person who's not strong enough, who's going through a lot, may hear this message and may be in despair. I'm going to leave it like that, because we're on YouTube. You can't deliver messages like that. You can't say things like that. We're supposed to be uplifting people, helping people. It's enough of that other stuff in this world today. All you got to do is turn on your TV, walk out your door, you see it. And if you affected someone's life in a negative way where they were in despair and did something because of the despair, then you got to answer to God for that, people. We're supposed to be helping one another, not tearing people down. Anything that's not for your highest good, it's not enhancing your life. It's not enhancing anybody's life. My life started to change for the better as I made and kept vows to God, because I was down for the count, people, and I wasn't getting up until I made those vows and asked God to help me. And He started to do that. None of this was easy, but my life is easier. I wouldn't say easy, but easier. And I've learned many lessons. And once you understand why you're going through certain things, maybe a lesson that you didn't learn that you're repeating, then you understand how to move, how to tread carefully, how to get through it, so that you don't have to repeat that lesson for a third and fourth time, because when that wheel spin again, that lesson's going to be worse than ever. So I try to learn lessons fast, and not one of the things I had to do is get rid of the ego, because sometimes you can have an ego about things. I'm not doing that, forget that, blah blah. Then you may spin on that wheel again. That wheel may go around again, and you may have to learn the lesson. So I try to learn it, humble myself, and be uplifting source to other people, and let them know how I got through things. We all got something. It's nothing for us to be ashamed of, because we're all here on this earth to learn. And when we learn these lessons, we could be a testimony and a blessing to other people in their life, to enhance it, uplift them. You know, One vow that I made to God, people, is to never reconcile with people from the past who caused so much pain in my life that they almost broke me down. Never to reconcile. Remember the lesson, use it in my testimonies, because it's going to help somebody else who may be currently going through these things, to uplift them, to know that I've gone through hell in a handbasket, but God brought me back up as I reached out to Him, and I didn't give up. That's why in some of my prior videos, I talk about keep going, keep going. Don't give up, because if you give up, that's when it ends. You got to keep going. And if you have a day where you don't do nothing, that's fine. Get up the following day and take a step forward. And I promise you, as you take these steps and you ask God to help you, and you're not in the background trying to hurt somebody, get revenge, do A, B, C, and D, and you're sincere, God is going to help you. He's going to move forward. And you're going to start to see the results of that, because He's going to show you stuff that only it came from Him, because there's no way this could happen. And I'm talking from experience. This reminds me of the story of Lot. You guys know of Lot's wife in the Bible. When she looked back and turned into a pillar of salt, God specifically said, don't look back. Leave the city. Leave it all behind. Leave it there. And she had, I don't know what happened to her, but she turned around and became a pillar of salt. But one of the vows I made was never to go back to the past. And when I'm talking about the past of past hurts and people, because I kept reconciling with that, and it was just getting worse and worse. And that's why I was having all these issues in my life. But I made a vow that I'm going to leave it where it is. And if people choose to heal or not heal, that's on them. But I'm going to leave that right where it is while I move forward. However, some of these folks do not understand how this works. And if you stay in a place of toxicity and hurts and bitterness, you can't grow and evolve, and you can't heal. So some of these people were making fake accounts to contact me because they see I'm real serious. Because in the past, I would just stay mad for a little bit and then reconcile. And then there'll be some other toxicity worse than whatever happened before. Then separate, then reconcile. But this time they see it's not happening, because it's been years now, and because I don't play with God. If I make a vow to God, I'm not breaking that. And I had to do that so that I can move forward and not stay in a place of stagnation. So these people were making fake accounts. to contact me. Even sometimes when I leave, to go, I even took myself out of the equation, out of the area, and relocated myself to someplace else. And these people trying to find out where I am, want to gain stalk, do all this. All I'm going to do is go into meditation, prayer with God, and transmute that. And that means God going to send it back to you. And when it goes back, it's yours. It belongs to you. It's not here. I'm not the same Lisa Vaughn. And even if they came towards me to reconcile what? I'm not that same person anymore. I'm not that subservient person that you're going to take from and use and abuse. It's over with. It's done. It's a wrap. And my life now is, in a peace, because the people who I allow in my life is going to be for my highest good. It's not there to take, to have a, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? When somebody is ulterior motive, they're not there, because I can sniff that out so much, because I've gone through it so many times, because I didn't learn the lessons. I mean, repeated it 6, 7 times, so when it comes my way, I see it, and I, you know, block, cut off, and delete, because I don't want that in my life. If it's not for my highest good to uplift me, then it doesn't belong in my life. And that's what I encourage you guys today. If it's not anything that's going to bring an equal give or take, or it's for your highest good, or bring some happiness and joy into your life, then you may want to set boundaries. That's how I'm going to say it to you. But for me, cut off, block, and delete, because I don't need it or want it in my life. Because to me, it's like a regression after I did all this healing and work. And I have no intentions of regressing back to the past. So I hope this message has uplifted someone to help you guys, because you don't have to stay stuck. As you start to do the work little by little, you're going to see the results, and you're going to start to heal, and you're going to start to do better. Self-care, take care of yourself. You start looking better, feeling better, and you do better. And then you can pay it forward and help somebody else who's been in that situation. Imagine paying it forward, because you know what person B is going through, because you went through that already, and you know what to do to get yourself from out of that, and to heal from it. And perhaps you can say something, or share something with that person to help them, so that they can get through that situation, people, so that they don't have to repeat that lesson. And that's how you pay it forward. And then that person will remember you for that, and then they can go and help somebody else, and we can keep this going, so people don't have to stay stuck and stagnated in toxicity. And you don't have to keep that in your life. Love yourself. When you love you, you know your self-worth. You know what you're worth. You know what's for your highest good. You know you don't have to accept anything that's not for your highest good and that brings toxicity into your life. That's the message today, guys. Go take care of yourself. Drink plenty of water and liquid, because it's hot out there today. And please, if this message resonates with you, please share these messages with other people who you know need to hear it. And keep subscribing to the channel, so that you know when I'm here. Like I said, some days the messages will be light, and other days they'll be intense, because people need to hear it. They need to know they don't need to have to stay in situations that bring pain and stagnation. That's the message today, guys. I will be back tomorrow. And I'm not sure of the time, but I will be here. And thank you for being here. And thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. And you guys have a good Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.